They told us nothing could survive beyond the north wind, only ice, emptiness, and death. But what if they were wrong? Long before history began, there was said to be a land of endless sunlight, a place where people lived for centuries, radiant and ageless, guided by forces we can barely understand. They called it Hyperborea. Its cities shimmered with crystal light. Its people harnessed the Earth's energy. And then, without warning, it vanished, swallowed whole by ice. For thousands of years we've called it myth. But now, new evidence hints the Arctic wasn't always frozen. It was once alive, lush, warm home to something extraordinary. So ask yourself, what really sleeps beneath the ice? A myth, or the first civilization humanity ever lost? The Hyperborean studies delve far beyond the mere suggestion of fertile lands, hinting at a civilization unlike any other in human history. Imagine a people, described in ancient texts as tall, radiant, and possessing extraordinary longevity. But their unique qualities extended further into the realm of advanced technology that seemingly mastered the very fabric of consciousness. These were not people bound by the ceaseless grind of survival, but a society living in profound harmony with celestial laws, almost as if they had transcended the ordinary human condition. This raises a compelling and unsettling question: if such a civilization truly existed, a society so advanced and seemingly idyllic, what became of them? Did they simply vanish, or did their wisdom subtly permeate subsequent cultures, leaving a hidden legacy for humanity to rediscover? To the ancient Greeks, Hyperborea was not a distant, mythical land, but a tangible geographic reality. Its very name, beyond Boreas, the god of the north wind, situated it north of Thrace, nestled beyond the brutal icy blasts of winter. This geographical specificity suggests more than mere folklore. It points to an actual, albeit elusive, location. Yet, a striking paradox emerges from these ancient accounts. In Hyperborea, the sun never sets. This led poets like Pindar to paint vivid pictures of a paradise where night itself was banished, a realm of perpetual daylight. How could they conceive of such a phenomenon in a world dominated by the cyclical rhythm of day and night? Modern science offers a startling clue. Above the Arctic Circle, there are indeed months when the sun remains perpetually above the horizon. To Mediterranean cultures, accustomed to clear distinctions between day and night, this would have seemed like pure magic, an ethereal wonder. But to the Greeks, it was concrete proof that a real people inhabited this blessed land, seemingly existing at the very threshold between earth and heaven, where divine and mortal realms converged. However, this celestial threshold remained tantalizingly inaccessible. As the ancient philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once penned, "Neither by sea nor land can you find the road to the Hyperboreans." While poetic, historians argue these lines reflect a profound mystery, not merely a literary flourish. Travelers venturing north consistently encountered insurmountable obstacles, whether impassable mountains, treacherous ice fields, or dangerous, unceasing storms that always turned them back. Yet, amidst these accounts of inaccessibility, fragments of testimony persist, claiming that some had indeed reached this elusive land. Diodorus Siculus, for instance, spoke of a magnificent island the size of Sicily, located far to the north, teeming with fertile fields and temples of incredible scale. Pilgrims, he recounted, traveled there to honor Apollo, whose worship was central to the Hyperboreans, suggesting a deep spiritual connection and established practices. If this were merely a myth, why such precise geographical descriptions? Why the insistence on temples, rituals, and pilgrimages if it were simply an allegory? The Greek historians, it seems, were convinced of Hyperborea's reality. The question was not its existence, but why it was hidden from the world, a sacred sanctuary veiled from ordinary human reach. What truly distinguished Hyperborea was not just its extraordinary geography, but its people. Ancient texts universally portray the Hyperboreans as tall, radiant, and ageless beings who lived in perfect harmony with nature. They knew no war, no disease, and no decay, existing in an almost utopian state. The ancient Greek poet Pindar described their lives as a continuous flow of songs, dances, and sacrifices to the gods, indicating a constant state of joyous celebration and spiritual devotion. To modern sensibilities, this sounds utterly fantastical, almost too good to be true. How could their lives be so perpetually joyous and remarkably simple, free from the trials and tribulations that plague other societies? Yet, these were not merely happy northerners. They represented a higher state of being, perhaps echoing a primeval human existence untouched by corruption, akin to humanity before the fall. If this is true, then Hyperborea transcends myth. It becomes our forgotten beginning, a blueprint for a humanity that lived in profound resonance with the cosmos. Let us dwell for a moment on these remarkable Hyperboreans, whose very existence challenges our understanding of human potential. Who were these radiant people who captivated the imagination of historians and poets alike? Ancient Greek writers consistently depicted them as extraordinary, not merely human but possessing divine attributes. Herodotus, the renowned Greek historian, described them as a luminous race residing beyond the north wind, in a land bathed in perpetual sunlight, their very beings radiating a gentle glow. Pindar, in his verses, spoke of them as deathless, impervious to disease or old age, existing in a state of eternal youth. Unlike mortal men, whose lives are fleeting, their lives stretched for centuries, filled with music, feasts, and sacred rituals that harmonized them with the spiritual realm. Physically, the Hyperboreans were said to be tall, fair, and luminous, radiating an almost ethereal vitality that set them apart. They lived for an astonishing span of up to 1,000 years. This astounding longevity begs a profound question. Could the Hyperboreans have unlocked secrets of human lifespan that modern science is only now beginning to rediscover, perhaps through their unique environment, advanced consciousness, or a combination of factors? The mysteries surrounding the Hyperboreans extend beyond their incredible age. These were not just people admired by mortals, they were beloved by the gods themselves. Greek mythology recounts that Apollo, the god of light, music, and prophecy, visited Hyperborea every 19 years. During these visits he was said to rejuvenate, feast, and commune with his chosen people, finding solace and renewed power among them. Unlike humans elsewhere, the Hyperboreans did not worship in fear or supplication. Instead, they interacted with the divine as equals, fostering a relationship of mutual respect and understanding. They regularly sent sacred offerings to Delphi, carried by swans or maidens, thus bridging their Arctic homeland with the religious heart of Greece, demonstrating a tangible, if unusual, connection. Apollo's profound devotion raises a striking question. Why would one of the chief Olympian gods prefer the company of this hidden northern race over the Greeks themselves, who revered him so deeply? Is there more to the Hyperboreans than our current understanding allows, a deeper truth about their nature and their connection to the divine? Perhaps the answers lie in comparing Hyperborean legends with other ancient traditions, revealing a pattern that transcends geographical boundaries. The Hyperboreans do not stand in isolation within ancient memory. Their story echoes in diverse cultures across the globe, across various Indo-European traditions. Tantalizing tidbits of their story reappear consistently, suggesting a shared origin or a common source of knowledge. Vedic texts speak of the Uttara Kuru, a northern land inhabited by radiant beings who possessed spiritual wisdom. Norse sagas describe Asgard and the shining Aesir gods in the far north, a realm of power and enlightenment. Even Persian myths tell of Ariana Vaja, the original Aryan homeland located in a frozen northern zone, a place of purity and ancient wisdom. What unites these disparate myths is the recurring image of a luminous race, tall, long-lived, and guardians of a higher wisdom, residing in a sacred northern realm. What if these are all cultural fragments pointing back to a singular, foundational Hyperborean civilization? a common root for many of humanity's deepest spiritual and mythological traditions. The implications are truly alarming, suggesting a far more interconnected ancient world than conventionally believed. Every Greek schoolboy knew that Apollo, god of light, music, and prophecy, did not reside in Delphi year-round. He journeyed north each winter to Hyperborea, his true homeland, where he was rejuvenated among its radiant inhabitants, finding renewal and inspiration. Consider the profound significance of this. Even the god of light, whose temple at Delphi shaped Greek identity and guided its destiny, drew his power not from Olympus, but from a civilization beyond the north wind. These were not mere whimsical tales, but real rituals deeply intertwined with geography, strongly suggesting that the Greeks were aware of a powerful cult or civilization far beyond their conventional borders, one that held immense spiritual sway. But Hyperborea was more than just an ancient cult. Diodorus Siculus wrote of an Apollonian temple in Hyperborea, grander than anything Greece had ever witnessed, a testament to its architectural prowess and spiritual significance. In his Bibliotheca Historica, he described it as spherical, meticulously aligned with celestial movements, echoing the architectural marvels we later find in Stonehenge and the great solar temples of Egypt. How could distinct cultures, separated by thousands of miles, construct temples following such similar design principles, seemingly without direct contact? One compelling explanation is a shared common teacher, a singular source of advanced knowledge. Could Hyperborea have been that original point of inception, the fount from which this sacred knowledge flowed? In a time when the Greeks feared the future, they consulted oracles, who were believed to gain their prophetic insight from Hyperborean knowledge, a testament to its perceived wisdom. Herodotus even claimed that the most famous oracle, the one at Dodona, was originally a Hyperborean import, suggesting a direct cultural transmission. And here is where the narrative truly becomes captivating. The Delphic oracle, which guided wars, shaped politics, and influenced colonization, was directly linked to Apollo's journeys north, its power waxing and waning with his presence. When the god departed for Hyperborea each winter, Delphi's sacred flame would dim, its prophetic whispers fading. Upon his return in spring, prophecy would bloom anew, vibrant and clear. This cyclical pattern reveals a deeper truth: prophecy itself was sustained by Hyperborean contact. Without them, the gods grew silent, and perhaps without them, Greece would have been utterly blind to its future, bereft of divine guidance. This realization compels us to wonder, were the Hyperboreans simply mythical northerners, figures of fanciful imagination, or were they the hidden teachers, the profound intellectual and spiritual architects behind the very religion of classical Greece, quietly shaping its destiny from a distant, sacred realm? Beyond its profound influence on Greek religion, Hyperborea is also hinted at possessing unimaginable technology, a level of advancement that far surpasses our current understanding of ancient civilizations. Ancient texts describe Hyperborea not as a frozen wasteland, but as a radiant realm powered by crystals, an astonishing detail that suggests a sophisticated understanding of energy. Their cities boasted towering quartz spires that pulsed with harmonic frequencies, channeling Earth's natural energy fields with remarkable precision. These were not mere decorative elements. The Hyperboreans had mastered piezoelectric technology, utilizing pressure within massive crystals to generate power, a concept that even modern science is only beginning to fully explore. Imagine cities illuminated not by fire, but by vibrational resonance, where healing was achieved through sound and crystal harmonics, tuning the human body like a living instrument, devoid of the adverse reactions associated with orthodox medicines. This paints a picture of a civilization living in profound ecological and energetic harmony, a stark contrast to our own. Even today, the Arctic remains shrouded in mystery, a vast and enigmatic expanse. Satellite readings reveal perplexing magnetic irregularities, with areas where compasses spin wildly and electromagnetic fields surge far beyond natural expectations. While some scientists attribute this to shifting poles, a plausible geological explanation, counter-researchers propose a more intriguing possibility. What if remnants of Hyperborean technology lie buried beneath the ice, still subtly influencing the region? What of the popular machines of the North, said to have stabilized the climate and balanced Earth's magnetism? Ancient mechanisms designed to interact with planetary forces. In our modern lexicon, we label these phenomena as anomalies, unexplained deviations from the norm. But what if these anomalies are in fact the silent echoes of Hyperborea, still resonating millennia after its fall, subtle indicators of a forgotten technological presence? Explorers have reported strange auroras appearing with no discernible solar activity, as if the very sky were responding to something hidden below, a latent energy source. If Hyperborea truly tapped into Earth's magnetic grid, then these anomalies are not merely geological quirks. They are the undeniable fingerprints of a forgotten energy network, a sophisticated system still at play. And if that is true, then the frozen North may be far less desolate than we perceive, concealing a profound secret. Perhaps the ice conceals a sleeping system, patiently awaiting rediscovery, a relic of a time when humanity understood the planet in a far deeper way. The Hyperborean puzzle becomes even more enigmatic when juxtaposed with Atlantis, due to their uncanny resemblances, suggesting a deeper connection than mere coincidence. Both civilizations are said to have built cities aligned with energy lines, powered by crystals and stabilized by Earth's magnetic field, an astonishing parallel. In Plato's dialogues, Atlanteans harnessed fire from the earth, channeled through crystalline structures, a powerful and refined energy source. Ancient texts describe Hyperboreans employing similar techniques, but with an even greater degree of refinement, perhaps a more advanced application of the same fundamental principles. Some researchers theorize that these two civilizations were not separate entities at all, but rather twin outposts of a singular, global civilization, representing different facets of a unified ancient culture. The catastrophic fall of Atlantis through floods and the freezing of Hyperborea due to pole shifts may have been one monumental disaster, recorded differently across various myths and oral traditions, a global cataclysm that reshaped the planet. If this hypothesis holds true, then the crystal grids and other forgotten technologies beneath the Arctic ice represent chapters of the same lost story. A story where humanity once lived in profound resonance with the planet itself, understanding and harnessing its energies in ways we can scarcely comprehend today. In Hyperborea, the very act of spoken language was almost superfluous. Communication occurred mind to mind, a level of telepathic mastery that transcends our current understanding of human interaction. Imagine a place where telepathy was not a fantastical superpower, a rare gift, but an everyday mode of interaction, as natural and commonplace as breathing. Greek accounts describe the Hyperboreans as beings of unparalleled purity and clarity, living without lies or deceit. How could deceit possibly thrive when one's very thoughts could be heard and understood, laid bare for all? But here's the truly striking aspect. Modern research into brainwave synchronization and quantum entanglement suggests that such communication might not be mere fantasy, but a real, if currently limited, human potential. Studies have shown that minds can align and even emotions can be felt across distances, hinting at dormant abilities within the human consciousness. Could Hyperborea have mastered what science now refers to as psi phenomena, developing these abilities to an extraordinary degree? Imagine a world where every intention was transparent, where harmony was not enforced by law, but was an inherent quality of consciousness itself, a state of profound collective peace. What if their profound peace was not a mere cultural choice, but a fundamental mental state, a natural consequence of their advanced telepathic abilities. And the wonders do not cease there. The Hyperborean understanding of reality extended far beyond the confines of the physical. To the Hyperboreans, reality was not confined to the physical flesh. Ancient traditions describe them as adept astral voyagers, capable of consciously leaving their bodies to explore Earth and beyond. Transcending the limitations of the physical realm, they were not bound by the laws of gravity or distance, suggesting a mastery of consciousness that allowed for non-physical exploration. Consider shamans entering deep trances, Tibetan monks practicing dream yoga, or the Egyptian soul that journeyed after death. These are faint echoes of a widespread ancient practice. Now imagine an entire civilization living with this ability, constantly mapping the stars and distant lands through conscious astral projection. If their explorers traveled astrally, perhaps that explains the impossible accuracy of so many ancient maps, depicting coastlines like Antarctica's beneath the ice, long before conventional exploration could have achieved such detail. Were these maps drawn by ships or by minds traversing the non-physical realms? This revelation suggests that what modern science dismisses as hallucination might once have been a sophisticated tool of navigation and exploration, a lost art of consciousness. If the concept of out-of-body experiences surprised you, prepare for an even more radical claim, one that challenges the very foundations of our materialist worldview. The most astounding assertion is not merely that Hyperboreans used telepathy to communicate, but that they possessed the ability to shape matter with thought itself, a profound mastery over the physical world. Some sources suggest they could move massive stones, generate energy, and even heal wounds purely through consciousness, demonstrating a direct interface between mind and matter. Outrageous, perhaps to a modern scientific paradigm, but experiments in psychokinesis, though often controversial and difficult to replicate consistently, have shown small but consistent effects, suggesting a nascent potential. Now, compare this with the impossible feats of ancient architecture, monoliths weighing hundreds of tons lifted without the aid of modern cranes, stones fitted with such precision that not even a razor blade could pass between them. Were Hyperborean techniques the foundational seed of this ancient knowledge, the secret behind these incredible constructions? If thought could truly influence matter, then Hyperborea didn't just master tools, they mastered reality itself, demonstrating a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of consciousness and the physical world. Their temples may not have been constructed with brute force, but with focused resonance, aligning mind and matter in ways we can barely conceive of today, leaving behind monumental evidence of their extraordinary abilities. Beyond these astonishing abilities, their cities were themselves a marvel, architectural testaments to their advanced knowledge and spiritual understanding. Hyperborean cities were not random clusters of stone, they were breathtaking sights to behold, meticulously designed and imbued with purpose. Ancient Greek writers describe how Hyperboreans aligned their temples with the movements of the stars, indicating a sophisticated understanding of archaeoastronomy. While this sounds like an exaggeration, their cities functioned not only as homes, but also as sophisticated astronomical calendars, living observatories that tracked celestial cycles. When we consider this, the description mirrors other sacred geometries found across the world, suggesting a universal architectural language. The pyramids of Giza, for instance, align with Orion, and Teotihuacan astonishingly mirrors the layout of the Milky Way. Could these widely separated cultures all be inheriting a single, original Hyperborean blueprint, a foundational knowledge of sacred design principles disseminated from a common source? The plot thickens. The architecture of Hyperborea was said to glow with an unearthly brilliance, suggesting not just aesthetic beauty, but an active energetic property. Temples were carved from crystalline stone that actively conducted energy, transforming mere structures into living energy conduits. Imagine entire cities designed like colossal tuning forks, precisely calibrated to resonate with Earth's magnetic field, harnessing its power for the benefit of the inhabitants. And when we examine modern architectural enigmas, we see shadows of this ancient wisdom in structures that defy conventional explanation. Baalbek's massive foundation stones, defying known construction methods. Machu Picchu's earthquake-proof walls, built with an almost impossible precision, or Göbekli Tepe's precisely aligned pillars from 12,000 years ago, pushing back the timeline of advanced construction. These sites all exhibit similar, profound geometric principles and an inexplicable mastery of materials. But the marvels of Hyperborea transcended mere physical architecture. They hinted at something far more profound. Did you know that Hyperborea was said to possess sacred sites that functioned as gateways between worlds, interdimensional portals disguised as temples? Temples were deliberately placed on geomagnetic hotspots, points where Earth's magnetic energy is strongest, indicating a conscious understanding of planetary energy grids. Modern science may label these as anomalies, unexplained magnetic fluctuations, but the ancients treated them as portals, points of access to other realities or dimensions. Across diverse cultures, the same pattern emerges. Delphi's oracle built above a geological fissure, Mesoamerican pyramids situated at magnetic nodes, or even Tibetan monasteries strategically placed on ley-line crossings, all indicating a deliberate placement based on energetic principles. These uncanny resemblances make us wonder if they are not mere coincidence, but rather the profound footprints of Hyperborean knowledge, meticulously passed down through generations, hinting at a lost science of planetary energy and interdimensional travel. It might further interest you to discover that architectural principles are not the only secrets bequeathed by the Hyperboreans. Their spirituality offers even more profound insights, revealing a way of life deeply attuned to cosmic rhythms and inner harmony. What was the spiritual society of Hyperborea truly like? Greek historians characterized Hyperborea as a land of perpetual sunlight, where days seamlessly flowed into one another without the intervention of darkness. While this initially sounds impossible, in the far northern regions, during specific periods, the sun indeed never sets, creating a phenomenon known as the midnight sun. To ancient travelers from more temperate climes, this must have felt like stepping directly into a divine realm, a land bathed in eternal light. However, the Hyperboreans did not merely exist under the midnight sun, they revered it. Their festivals were said to last for months,